Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video we're going to keep looking at Magic Origins. We're going to move on and look at Assemble Victory, which is a blue and red deck. Let's take a look at the deck list. So we've got 24 creatures, 4 artifacts, 3 instants, 5 enchantments, 24 land, and we've got a mana curve off to the side there. And let's dive in, start taking a look at this deck. I'm really excited to talk about this one actually, because it is blue-red artifacts, which is an archetype and a strategy I really like. So the foil face rare is Chandra's parents, Pia and Kira Nalar. So 2 and double red for a 2/2. When they enter the battlefield, put 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens and fly onto the battlefield. This is not the only card by far in the deck that makes Thopter tokens, as we'll see. Has the ability 2 and a red, sacrifice an artifact, does 2 damage to target creature or player. So this is, I think, really solid. It's making 4 powers worth of stuff when you cast it, which is fine. And it just has this really great ability, I think, of being able to sacrifice any artifact, turn it into a shock, which is really good, I think. So yeah, because you attack with those Thopters, they get through, do damage, and then if you needed to, you could sacrifice them, for the extra damage. That could close out a game. So really good. I think a really good start to looking at this deck. So the other is Majoring Responder. So 7 mana for a 7/7. It doesn't untap during your untap step. You have to pay 7 to untap it. Whenever it attacks, it does 7 damage to target creature defending player controls. So, I mean, that's a really strong ability. Like, whenever it attacks, it's like blasting something for 7 damage. And then also, like, whatever blocks it, or if it gets through, does 7 damage. So maybe having the 7 to untap it is like is not too unreasonable on such like a really strong ability. Such a strong ability. But yeah, it's okay. From what I remember, is there a way? There might be a way to cheekily untap artifacts in the deck. We'll get to it if we do. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there probably will be. There usually is in blue, right? To untap artifacts, we'll see. So now we've got 2 Reclusive Artificer, 2 a blue and a red for a 2/3 with haste. When it enters the battlefield, you may have it deal damage to target creature equal to the number of artifacts you control. You've got a lot of artifacts in the deck, a lot of things that make artifact tokens. So this is basically like coming in, and this is kind of like Flame Tongue Kavoo. Honestly, this is like a blue-red Flame Tongue Kavoo, because like I would reckon you'd be able to get at least like 3-4 damage off this. I think quite comfortably, and then it gets to swing as well. So yeah, it's pretty good. Like really, again, kill off a creature and swing and do some more damage. So yeah, pretty great, I think. So then we've got a bunch of creatures who just like make Thopters, which is absolutely fine. This is a really nice sneak peek for like Kaladesh as well, which is, I'm really excited to talk about the Kaladesh like setting and like the cards when we get to like those Planeswalker decks in, I don't know, a couple of months maybe. But yeah, we've got 2 Aspiring Aeronauts, so 3 in a blue for a 1/2 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, you make a Thopter token. 2 Girapur Gear Crafter, 2 in a red for a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, make a Thopter token. And a single Thopter Engineer, 2 in a red for a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, you make a Thopter, and your artifact creatures have haste, which is super good. Like, if you can make these Thopter tokens and then immediately swing with them as well, because like, if they've got evasion, that's fantastic. They've already got evasion because they've got flying, and if they're swinging immediately, that's really good. Puts like the opponent on a clock. So really good. All these I think are really great, because like obviously they've got their own inherent stats, and then they're making something else. And like I say, you've got so many other things in the deck that can use artifact tokens in some way. Or yeah, it's great. Like a lot of really nice little synergies in this deck, I think, which is why I really like it. And then we've got a single Whirler Rogue, 2 and double blue for a 2/2. When it ends the battlefield, you make 2 Thopters, and you can tap 2 untapped artifacts you control. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. So there we go. You make your Majoring Responder unblockable. 7/7 unblockable. Hits your opponent for 7, and also blast one of their things for 7. So that's okay. But yeah, this is okay. There's not, I would say, many other things in the deck that like benefit too much from being. I mean, obviously benefits from being unblockable, but like nothing too enormous from what I can remember. But yeah, this is obviously fine. And then we got 2 Chief of the Foundries. This is fantastic. Oh no! I've used the Kaladesh version. It is in Origins, I promise. It is definitely in Origins, but I've gone and used the Kaladesh because it's got the Kaladesh symbol in it. Oh god, what a faux pas that is. But yeah, 3 mana. It's an artifact creature. It's a 2/3 and gives all your other artifact creatures +1/+1, which is just really straightforward. Like for 3 mana, it's a 2/3 on its own anyway. It's making all your Thopters into, have one of them out. All your Thopters are 2/2. You get both of them out. You're making like 3/3 Thopters, which is like crazy good, especially if they have haste and like all these other abilities you're giving. So yeah, really solid. Really happy there's 2 of them in here. We've got 2 Guardian Automatons, 4 mana for a 3/3. When it dies, you gain 3 life. Yep, that's just fine, isn't it? That's just perfectly fine. We've got 2 Bonded Constructs, 1 mana for a 2/1. It can't attack alone. It never will be because you're going to be almost certainly swinging with Thopters all the time. A single Ram Roller, 3 mana for a 2/3, attacks each turn if able, and it gets +2/+0 as long as you control another artifact, which you almost certainly will, so it's a 4/3. For 3, that has to attack every turn if able, so yeah, that's fine. It feels so weird to me, it doesn't have Trample, but I suppose it's like a homage to the original Juggernaut, which didn't have Trample, and Hot Take is like not a great card. I never understand like the love or like the the affection for Juggernaut, but it's a classic card, I suppose, isn't it? And then a single Ruined Servitor, 2 mana for a 2/2. When it dies, everyone draws a card. So that's fine, just for 2 mana 2/2. With at least you get to draw the card out as well, so that's okay. And then a few other things just to round out the creatures. So we've got a single Bellows Lizard, 1 red mana just for a 1/1, and you pay 1 red to give it +1/+0 turn, which is fine, I guess. At least it has the option. It's okay. A single Subterranean Scout, 1 red for a 2/1. When it ends the battlefield, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. So yeah, make one of your Thopters unblockable. Sure, it's fine. And 2 Volcanic Ramblers, 5 red for 6/4. 2 red, it does 1 damage to target player. So really nice, like again, like a late game mana sink. And also it's just a 6/4 on itself, and you can just swing with it. It's essentially like a red crawl worm. Yeah, this is okay. And then a Separatist Void Mage, 3 in the blue for a 2/2. When it ends the battlefield, you may return a creature to owner's hand. So yep, just fine to have like this kind of little bounce effect. That's okay. And then a single Maritime Guard, just 1 in the blue for a 1/3, which just fine, just a boring defensive creature. It's okay. So then we get to Artificer's Epiphany, which is really fun to say. 2 in a blue, you draw 2 cards, instant speed, which is pretty good. And if you control no artifacts, discard a card. Yeah, you're almost certainly going to have artifacts, so most of the time this is just instant speed divination, which at time of recording, there's now that in Wilds of Eldraine, which which really made me happy. Like, because we've had Weave Fate before, which is 3 in a blue for instant speed, draw 2 cards, and now we have, I can't remember what the new one's called, but it's 2 in a blue, instant speed, draw 2 cards, and it's just like salute to divination. Like it did its job, We've got 2 Girapa Ether Grid, 2 in a red. As an enchantment, you can tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, and it does 1 damage to target creature or player. So this is really nice to turn all those Thopter tokens into if they can't get through, or you just cast them, they can't attack because they've got haste. At least you can tap them to have them ping creatures and players. The fact you can get creatures and players is really, really good. So yeah, it's really, and there's 2 of these as well. We got 3 Infectious Bloodlust, which I don't think is a card that really fits in the deck, but at least it's here, I suppose. So 1 red aura goes on a creature. The enchanted creature has +2/+1, has haste, and attacks each turn if able. So you can put this on a Thopter, I suppose, and it becomes a 3/2 with haste and flying, I suppose. Then that's okay. When an enchanted creature dies, you may search your library for a card named Infectious Bloodlust, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So again, you could then search up another one, put it on another Thopter. It's okay. There are worse things to do. Or one of the creatures you've already cast that's made its Thopter, you might as well get then this, because they're essentially then a vanilla creature, so you might as well buff them up. It's okay. It's okay, I think. And then a single Disperse, 1 in the blue to return a non-land opponent to owner's hand. Yep, just standard bounce spell. It's fine. And then we got 2 Alchemist's Vial, 2 mana. When it ends the battlefield, draw a card. You can pay 1 and tap, sacrifice Alchemist's Vial. Target creature can't attack or block this turn. So yeah, it's just nice multi-purpose card. It's okay. A single Meteorite, 5 mana for an artifact. When it ends the battlefield, does 2 damage to target creature or player, and you can tap to add 1 mana of any color. This is okay. It's a slightly more expensive mana rock, but at least it's also a small burn spell, so that's okay. And then a single Prism Ring, 1 mana. As Prism Ring enters the battlefield, you choose a colour. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen colour, you gain 1 life. This is okay. At least it's only 1 mana. At least it's an artifact to trigger off your other stuff. And it's a little bit of life gain, but I don't think it's necessary. I think this would have been easy first cut, I think, because it doesn't really, I think, contribute that much to what the deck's trying to do. And then, we didn't have an untap effect. There we go. Ignore me. You have to pay 7 mana for your majoring responder. I'm sorry. And then Involving Wilds and 13 Mountains and 10 Islands. So yeah, I really feel like we whizzed through that one because, I thought everything was very good. So there wasn't much I could rant about as normal. It was just really, really solid. Really like this one. So let's talk about maybe some alternate rares. So So instead of majoring responder, as we said, is absolutely fine. But I think Thopter Spy Network or Hangerback Walker would have been a lot more interesting. So Thopter Spy Network is 2 and 2 blue for an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. If you control an artifact, which you almost certainly will, you make a 1/1 Thopter, and whenever one or more artifact creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. So that's really, really good. The other alternative was Hangerback Walker, which I think would have made the deck actually too good, because I know this card I think got a bit of notoriety in constructed play, because it was just easy to like combo with or something. I don't know. If you know about Hangerback Walker, stick it in the comments. I can't bother to look it up. So double X to cast it. Enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters. When it dies, you make a Thopter for every +1/+1 counter it had on it, and you can pay 1 and tap and to put another +1/+1 counter on it. So yeah, really, really nice. I think this would have been a fantastic second rare to have in the deck. It's a big creature, and when it dies, it makes a bunch of Thopters. Like, what's not to love? And then I thought, as an extra uncommon, you could have slit it maybe instead of that Prism Ring, because I think that Prism Ring is a bit rubbish. Foundry of the Consuls. So it's a land, gives you colorless mana, and then you can pay 5, tap it, sacrifice it, and make 2 Thopters. So there we go, like a whole bunch of making Thopters in the deck. Who doesn't like making Thopters? But yeah, so overall, I really like this one. I think out of all the Magic Origins decks, I think this one is my favorite by like quite a lot, I would say. Like, it's definitely the one that stood out to me, and like looking back on it, like this is one I really wish well, because I dropped out of the game by this point really, so like I wouldn't have picked up, but like yeah, this if I had been playing at the time, this is one I think I would have picked up, because like I just like blue red artifacts. It just really speaks to me. I've liked it since like Scars and Mirrodin, like blue red like Metalcraft, because the two colors like complement each other so well. With artifacts, like blue is all about like powering them out and making them better, and red is about usually sacrifice them for like really good effects. So yeah, really liked this one. Yeah. So yeah, if you got, I'd like to hear obviously what people think about this deck themselves. You got any thoughts or comments or stories, opinions about either the deck as a whole or the cards in the deck? Stick a comment below. I'll love to read them, because I always do. But I'll be back next time. We're going to look at the last intro pack from Magic Origins. But until then, thanks for watching, listening, and have a great day.